Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of, yes, you got it, Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11. And of course, we're playing as Japan. These guys are marching up to deal with that. Good. Oh, we'll go over. Let's see here. Now, we've got these guys puppeted. We're still trying to occupy this province here. Get them puppeted. These guys are puppeted. We are moving forces here to get ready for a war with Jiang. I've done very minimal, basically just replacing this guy, or the guy that was here, with this guy. Was it? Or no? No, it was no. Yeah. Oh, up here, Kwantang Theater. With Yamashita, who is now skill level 6 with all of those traits. There's a lot of really good, and I was first going to start moving out, but then realized that so many of these guys are like 5s, and well, it's a 3, but that's another 3. 5 there, and 3, and 5, and I was going to say a lot of 4s and whatnot, but there's a lot of these guys up there. So once I sort of figure out where I'm going to be invading next and get the units there, and then hopefully have enough time to reorganize the chain of command up there. I'm just so used to playing as Germany and sort of knowing what I need to do and who I need to put in where. Just not used to that here. We're getting ready to come in, like I say here. Oh, and I've sent basically all of the Navy home to a base. Stop using fuel. No point in using fuel. Don't have any enemies that have anything that floats left. So yeah, that's another thing we are doing. So we're going to continue that from here. And when are we getting here? It's probably the soonest, May 3rd. Okay. Yeah, these will all be much later. Okay. I'd like to not be at peace in between. I think we're going to be at peace for a while. Now, let me say, okay, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember the old movie War Games. It was, I think, Matthew Broderick played a high school kid, I guess we say. I think that's who it was. But and this is, we're still, of course, dealing with, especially in movies, what is AI and how much can AI ever do? And I know that there's different thinkings on this stuff, but it's sort of that there's this computer program and that's intelligent, and then somehow he triggers it into not just playing a war game of thermonuclear war, but actually playing the launching the missiles, and they got to try to stop it and all this stuff. And then they sort of teach it tic-tac-toe, and then if you play it smart, you can there's no sort of good way to play and win, so the best option is just not to play, so he who wins thermonuclear war is he who doesn't play. And especially when you have big stockpiles sitting in the Soviet Union and the US, and everybody's looking at each other and going, we're going to play this game or not? And I say that because other people who have radical ideologies, who might I be talking about, might believe, because of their radical ideologies, that by triggering that, they may be triggering some sort of end time prophecy that they want to trigger. And so whether directly launching or, we can also zoom in over here too, directly launching or giving said nukes to some third party might be a way that they want to play thermonuclear war. And a reasonable response that if you're facing thermonuclear war yourself, or you're facing the possibility of huge amounts of tank armies coming across your border, and you're sort of, whether it's in the field or taking out capitals of the enemy or something, don't know what their strategy would be. They've got nukes to retaliate too. I would say on a state, maybe, I don't know, some state, you probably can't guess which state I'm talking about right now. I don't think they would ever do a first strike unless they believe that first strike was a preemptive strike against another, like, nuclear type strike. You know, if somebody else has nukes and they have a reasonable idea of where those nukes are, and that if they were to strike with their nukes, whether it's located at a big city or just simply way out in the desert somewhere, strike those nukes first. I think they would be willing to strike those nukes first, as opposed to wait and take the hits because they're such a small... Oh, why would they be a small country? They could be a huge country. What country would I be talking about? But might be willing to, you know, strike first, just because they believe they have credible evidence. Whether they tell the rest of the world or not, I don't know what that evidence would be, but strike with their nuclear weapons. So in this sort of a desperation plea, I think it's either going to be a retaliatory type thing, is if, say, country launches, or a country who has them, I don't know what country I could be talking about right now, but who does currently have them, that is that gives them or allows them to be taken by some third party and used. Again, my fear is long been the idea that they put it in a, you know, shipping container, a cargo container, just get it on board any sort of commercial ship, you know, and go through a couple of international ports around the world. In the, you know, I don't know if you know this, and I don't know what there is just so much cargo moving through a country like Singapore through its docks. I would be shocked if they could do good scanning for the presence of radioactive materials through even a significant fraction, you know, like 20% or something. That if they were, because there's, how much, I don't know if you know, there's sort of like free trade zones and bonded warehouses and other things in which cargo comes into Singapore, but it's never officially like gone through customs into Singapore. It's just into a controlled warehouse that will then be put onto another ship for further transshipment. And so would that be scanned? Or if we, you know, now of course if it's coming from a place that is thought likely to be a problem place, it very, you know, targeted scanning of, you know, oh, this is from, oh, some part of the world that might have this stuff, that stuff is more likely to be scanned. But if they can mess around with, you know, origination papers and other things, that it gets sort of lost in, you know, in the computer system, that the people who are controlling it know where it is, but with everybody else, its origin gets lost and it gets sent around, that then it gets to some port somewhere, even if it's a port, whether in Europe or into America or someplace like that, that has scanning technology. There is some of that in the US, but again, I can't imagine them scanning more than a fraction, and especially since we haven't seen much since 9/11. I think spending on those procedures has gone down from early development work on some of that stuff. But you could just be sitting in the harbor and have it detonated. Then I think we could readily see a you know, big missiles going off, because we're not prepared to quite put in a large ground forces, and we're going to show, or over somewhere else, we're going to show that state actors can't get away with, oops, we didn't know it was a radical what was starts with Al, but everything seems to Alcucon or something like that, or the whatever, sort of a network of trading of nuclear secrets and development technologies around that was coming out of a country somewhere in the world. But if, actually turning over weaponry, we're not going to allow official or unofficial denials, because even if the denials of the central government are true, some governments might not decide that they need to keep close control on their nukes, but just sort of saying, oh no, it's not just we're going after the people who did it. You're paying very, very big prices, so everybody else, your government, if you're not sure of who's controlling your nukes, maybe you ought to immediately attack your nuke bases and eliminate everybody there and put in people that you're absolutely freaking sure that won't let your nukes out of your control. Because if you let them out of your control, whether you as a policy or just somebody does it, you're going to face super bad, cataclysmic type repercussions. So yeah, that's sort of that. And that was, of course, when I was growing up, the biggest fear, the biggest threat was major nuclear exchanges, and to a point that many of us thought it was going to happen one day. Not necessarily like now or next month or next year, but just someday. It was the train was heading down that path. I no longer think we're heading down that path of a major global exchange of nuclear weapons, but I actually believe the likelihood of nukes being used somewhere somehow is actually gone up. So that is my estimation of it. Okay, so get back to, especially that, hey, we won basically, and we have this little bit here to do. We won. We don't even need to go anywhere else. We won. Let's just stop right now. Once we get Yunnan is puppeted, now is the time to stop. We've won. Game over. The best results for Japan in playing in World War II is don't play the game. Just stop. We've won. We've done it. Game over. We've been successful. We've secured resources. We've secured China, and just sort of, hold out, deal with the oil embargo, try to deal with somebody, now that we have peace, and just game over. That is the best outcome, best way to win. But one, we can have the series over. That would be fine. If there was some great, awesome new update to Black Ice, Hearts of Iron 3 that I really wanted to get back into Germany, I might consider doing that at this point. But no, we want to keep playing for the fun of it. We want to keep playing, so we're going to keep playing. So we're going to go into World War II. It may mean the eventual win. I will say this right now, partially because I know, views are way down now as it is over what a good German series would be doing, and so I have no intentions of playing this to the bitter end, or to the end, unless, hey, if somehow viewership turns around, that'd be lovely, that'd be lovely. And I knew this going into Japan, but I also knew that if I just went right back into Germany again, viewership numbers weren't going to be great either. There's got to be a bit of time and space between series as well, because I know a lot of you that mostly want to watch Germany, you'll come back once you know that, oh yeah, there's a new version, major version of Black Ice, mods updated, things going good. So yeah, we'll come back, but might not be back just because, oh, he's starting again, he's going to play the same thing again, it's going to be the same again, not much has changed. Because yeah, do you want to play something wacky? Like Germany allies with Britain and goes after France. Oh, wait a minute, that's done in Hearts of Iron 4. I don't know. But something, peaceful Germany. He's going to play a game of peaceful Germany. How much, take as much territory as you can, but never go to war. How far can you get? And Can you survive, you know, the coming threats? And, you know, those aren't going to get viewing numbers. And unless you're going to really sort of go to, because I really, with Black Ice, because we're sort of playing in the Black Ice world, I don't want to go back to basic. Oh God, no. Other than doing what I do, you know, can do it in a different method, like try to get Britain before going after the Soviet Union, or you know, do something minor difference, or doing like world conquest. We're not going to have any allies. We're going to conquer and take Italy, Hungary, Romania, everywhere. No allies for Germany or something. You know, unless you're going to be doing that, you know, not a lot of good options for going off. So we got to come back to doing this. So we're going to keep this up, of course, but best option is not to play. But we're going to play. Oh, and so if we get to the point that like all my ships are sunk, all my carrier groups are sunk, and America is actively taking down Pacific Islands and all of that kind of thing, and we'll probably just go, yeah, series over, just because do we need to wait for them to take Tokyo? Now, of course, if I'm doing reasonably well, but oops, they invade and get Tokyo, you know, meaning I'm pushing down into Australia and doing well and sunk some of their fleets and holding my own in, you know, some of these islands, but I don't know, they're close enough from here to go into Tokyo and boom, do so. No, I'll fight that back out if I think I can fight them out of Japan, but it's only if everything else is crumbling. I don't need to fight to the last surrender thing. Okay. Radar advance, which allows much more research in various radar stuff. So we will stop that. We currently don't have any free leadership, so we'll come back to some of that. And Grand Battle Plans is advanced, which was down here, which, let's take a look at it. Okay, not quite as out of date, but we'll stop that and we'll come back here. Because, yes, I want to get capital ship radar. Mostly just watching the clock. I think we're looking at still May 3rd as being the likely first occupier here, which will spell the end there. So I'm thinking very soon after the autosave here and whatnot to see about continuing. Okay, combat medicine. Nation, combat medicine, stop. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're still at war, so we're going to keep ourselves at war. I'm also not going to be some sort of super... It has crossed my mind, but we lose threat on all... Okay. I'm going to do this. Some sort of super gamey thing, and just like, oh, we're going to take everything but not the capital. So, at war with that, introduce non-aggression. Maybe it's just we're not offering peace yet. I don't know. Wanted to war goals. Targeted by Japan, conquer. Okay, well, I wanted to change it to, maybe I can or not, to puppet, but okay. He looks rather Soviet. So I'm willing to put up with a year or 2 maybe a piece. That also, well, I can try to speed up things. Okay, we've lost medium and got high popularity. Very good. Very, very good. More leadership, more territorial pride, national unity improved. Is no longer attempting to influence us. Cool. And we have the Nagoya division, which HQ, which we saw before, and because we have high popularity, we have more. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Oh, and even more. Looks like okay. Yeah. So. There we go. I've also been sort of focusing on air power, often naval type air power, waiting for those light cruiser, heavy cruisers and such to get researched up to improve their quality when I lay down the ships. Okay, airplane radios have advanced. Very good. Pilots can now talk to each other while flying. Yes, even early pilots were using Morse code up there while trying to fly. Yeah, we will do these and we'll start with that one. Okay, we've occupied this, and we've enforced puppet on them. Very good. And that would have been the end of the war. Now we've lengthened it. Okay, being used on us. Okay, well. Okay, these guys. Let's move these guys down to here. First aid is advanced. Very good. Let's come back and look at some ship technologies. Secondary guns, I think we want to do. Don't know if you guys have been watching my War Thunder videos, but secondary guns were still very important on battleships. A lot of the sort of big, heavy secondary guns were also designed to be dual purpose, so that they could shoot surface targets as well as air targets. And so they would have director units that, at least I know this is more on the American stuff. I don't know how much of this is on the Japanese. But it would have director units that may control, several turrets of guns. Often turrets have like, whether open sort of mountings, or would be dual guns, or in armored turrets, either way. And so that they would have shells that just before you fired them, there would be sort of a machine thing that you stuck them into, and it was set it for fuse time to explode. 2.3 seconds or something like that. And so you'd fire it off, and then after that amount of time it blows up, because they weren't actually trying to like hit the aircraft directly with the rounds, but they were trying to put rounds up nearby them, and like normal big flat guns, and shoot that out. And so aircraft coming screaming in, the secondary guns, as opposed to like anti-aircraft guns on ships, because that's what these are, the anti-aircraft guns. But I'm talking about secondary guns, fairly big caliber kind of stuff. Is you're trying to shoot at aircraft. Ooh, wow, look at all of the bonuses we've got for that. That'll be happening soon. is you're trying to shoot at aircraft way out there. It's not even the idea that necessarily you're trying to shoot it down or whatever. It's just you're trying to make them nervous, make them decide that attacking, the closer you get, the more dangerous it is, the more nervous you are. It's like the difference between shooting a target and shooting at somebody who's shooting back at you while you're trying to aim at them, kind of thing. So, you know, it's not necessarily very successful in hitting stuff, but it is useful for that. And I don't know that that is going to no, doesn't really affect that kind of stuff. The other thing, the importance of it is well before World War II, and I don't know that Japan did very much, and I know at the very end they did very poorly. They tried to do motor torpedo type stuff, motor torpedo boats, but they also knew about what was called torpedo boats before, or destroyers, that destroyer guns aren't going to be able to harm much battleships, really. I mean, it's annoying when it hits, and yes, it'll kill a few people, but it's annoying. They're worried about torpedoes themselves. So these secondary guns were smaller, faster shooting, generally speaking, than loading the big guns, easier to aim, and so that they would be able to deal with the smaller vessels. And that's sort of combined with the big guns and how they combine and do work together. Okay. Talking enough about this airborne training. I see that we're sort of... So we're going to cancel that to get back positive. We'll do more airborne training. We got 2 units in production. We'll see about how much more we do. I don't know. Because it can be damn useful, you know. Going after some of these islands, being able to do airborne invasions strong enough to deal with the garrisons could be quite useful. Fire control solutions for our lighter vessels. Okay. Let's shift over to damage control. And so we're definitely looking at using the airborne stuff, but I have to remember I'm not playing Germany, so that we're going to be controlling the seas, so naval invasions will be much more likely, but still to be able to do that. Yeah, I'm just thinking all the possibilities down here, because we won't be getting the sort of, at least this is my understanding, the AI event, because it's been a long, I haven't looked recently, but I know before the AI events, it's sort of like, oh yeah, spawn a bunch of units down here, and hopefully they'll, be aggressive and offensive. We won't be getting that because because we're not AI, the AI never invades well. We're going to have to be planning invasions of all of these places, and especially if this has already been turned over to the British control, just by taking a couple of the, victory provinces. I keep wanting to call them hexes, but victory provinces. It doesn't, may affect overall British, surrender progress, but won't be affecting how quickly. So we'll have to occupy most all of these islands and scoop up most all of this territory, and having a lot of troops running around doing that. So, yeah, we'll have a lot to keep us busy down there. Okay, armor piercing capped advance. That would be here, and yeah, even though we are looking for land war, sea war, that'll just help keep us a little more, in the game when it's talking about with European armor. Okay, you guys can walk from now. Oh, cancel. Okay, good. Now we'll do that attritional warfare. And we've maxed that out. Very good. Yeah, let's go for sniper warfare. How many victory provinces do they have? Just the one. Okay. Okay, well, you guys, we're just going to plow right there. And can I change my... Nope. Can't add Wargle. Maybe there's some event I didn't look at that. But if we conquer that, we conquer it. And own it. Fine. Whatever. New industrial zone. Very good. The only thing that... Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that as a thing. You know, because more industrial zones mean more laborers. Yeah, that works. And obviously takes more resources, but we've added a lot more useful things, and we're going to keep pushing on that. I want as much industry as I can get. Okay, good. More MPs. Very good. A lot more MPs. I'm just a little surprised, but I understand why, but I'm just a little surprised no one's gone in and called this the Kempi-Tai type stuff. But I understand why the Black Ice Beetle haven't done it, just because they're focused on Germany and Europe, and they know their players. Oh yeah. We may have enough. I was early on wondering if we had enough generals to down here transport to handle all these units and actually put it in there, but it's there just isn't a good enough reason to do that. Okay, the Shokaku. Okay, good. We want to deploy that. Koga. That sounds good. And you need a rebased carrier, and yes, we're going to create a carrier group around the Shokaku. So we're going to have some destroyers and some light cruisers to back that up. Destroyers may be a range limiting element, but got a lot of our fleet back in base, but there we go. And so and if you didn't watch my thoughts before, I'm basing my naval activity or my naval planning on history and not gaminess. Not to saying it's wrong for you to do so, because hey, this is a game. You know, min-maxers are cool, and it's fine to do that. I just don't play that way, so I may not be making the best decisions, so keep that in mind if you're you know, doing what I'm doing, as it were. Oh, have two divisions, and one's going to get tank destroyers because there's a slot open for that, and the other one's going to get motorized engineers, and they may be down here, I think. Okay, well, these guys are here. So revolt risk. No, yes, well, obviously we are always going to have the sort of yellow out here for non-core type things. And I would really prefer not to have sort of revolts down here now. Okay, let's look at resource centers. There we go. There we go. That'll help a little bit with revolt risk once they get out there. Okay, single engine airframe. Research has advanced. Very good. And that's grayed out and give us that. So we'll go over to armament. Okay, we're still at 95, so we're still doing good there. Yeah, we could do it. A few more. 3 more. We got 3 more already coming, so we'll do 3 more to add to that. Now this is another thing I should be thinking about too, is just thinking like air bases. Quadrillion, that's a pretty big basin. Where's truck down here? No, truck is, yeah, okay, that's as big as I can make it. Saipan, okay, that's a reasonable size. Oh, up here. Okay, yeah, they could use some air bases. Iwo Jima. The Americans knew what they were doing. Marcus Islands, yes. Okay, yeah, we got sort of furthest extreme there. Okay, that's good now. The other thing we need to do here is, and this is now the time to do it, because we're waiting on improving our, our next string of destroyers, so, or our cruisers and light cruiser attacks. Build radars around here. Yeah. Yeah, I want to be able to get subs and other things, because they will pick up some of those naval vessels. Yeah, might as well put it right out there. And we got one up in Tokyo, so let's put one out here to try to spot things moving there. And oh, we should have, let's do radar. Well, oh no, I'm not. Okay, we're gonna come down here, and no, wrong screen, and I know it. Okay, cancel those. Let's do that first. Level 2 and 1 there. That way we will have a look in up there. And there. And there. And we should build some fortifications up here too and get some troops to watch Sakhalin Island just in case we do go to war with the Soviets. We're not going to garrison it heavily, but, you know, might as well have something there. Okay, so that will help us, and we need to do all of that. Again, that's something I'm not used to having to think about or do. And it's going to take a lot of ICs, including building all those radars, but I think it's worth it, and I think we have the time to do so. And now's the time to do so, when we're not at war with the Americans or whatnot. Now, what does our infrastructure look like? Okay, so these... Okay, we can see clearly here, so we... Okay, so we would know the level of infrastructure. So here we have... Okay, that's probably where the Burma Road is, and do we want to do this? Please, post your thoughts on this. Well, let's see, we can come... Okay, presumably these are choked off here. Let's look at... Okay, okay, we can get to here. This is enemy territory now, or, well, not ours. So if we can come through here, there's nothing. Okay, well, there's already here. We control here. They can come. This will become a front. This will become a front here. So this might, some of these might be impassable, but we can see through to here, and I know this is all passable. Okay, so this is, they've noticed here they have a Burma Road here in the plains. So that's what they're figuring this is a supply route for China or something. So that will become a front. So we should probably build... Oh, damn it, we can't build here. Ah! Yes, I know it's affecting both games that I'm jumping back and forth between Hearts of Iron 3 and Hearts of Iron 4. This is one of the things I hate in Hearts of Iron 4 or 3, is that I can't build in puppet territory. I mean, puppet territory, it should automatically be able to build in. I should be able to also build in allied territory, but that could be debated maybe, but and that's why I did the air bases and foreign aid mod originally, because I wanted to build air bases in allied territories. And so I had events to do it. Okay, so this will become the front, the Burma Road coming through here and not into here. Damn. And that's another reason to not puppet and to just take everything, and why it is somewhat historical to do so, because Japan could build in any of its puppets. No one is going to argue with me that oh, the Philippines wouldn't let them build somewhere. Yeah, they might not let them if there's a battle going on, because hey, there's, oh, what's that called? Oh, a battle going on. But short of that sort of a thing, no, they were going to do it. And I guess we're not going to be able to change, add a war goal. Okay, until June 1. Okay, well, you know, we're not going to go into it. We're not going to go into its capital because I want to puppet this. So in June 1, we can add a war goal. So we're going to sit outside of its capital and do that, even if we could move there in time. What's the terrain? Okay, we're out in the desert now. What else? We're counterattacking here to save our advance. Oh, well, now it's June 1, but okay. Diplomacy. Nope, it's add war goal. Not allowing me to. Okay, light armored designs have advanced. Very nice. And that's grayed out. Yeah. Armored cars. We got a lot of armored cars. We'll research those. Oh, add war goal. Okay, we're gonna puppet. I do. Do I want to do that though? Yeah, I do want to do that. But we'll continue this next episode. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos, because I'm just, the reason I'm interrupting myself right now, the reason I don't know if I want to puppet is because do I want to like build fortifications or something? Yeah. Okay, so thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, I love hearing from you, so please post questions, comments, suggestions. I can go back to the autosave or something like that, or somehow deal with this if I need to, if you want to weigh in on things. Okay, see you next time.